Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I have a story of a man I served with in basic training, and every single day, this guy would blow my mind. Some of the things this guy did, I'm still trying to explain it. Anyways, this one's gonna be good. Please like and subscribe and comment. Like always, let's do this. So in basic training, we are lined up around our bunks and we are meeting the people to the left and the right of us. I'm very familiar with my battle buddy, the guy I share a bunk with. Great guy, Ty Thomason. Love this guy to death. We actually recently have really started to talk again on a more consistent basis. Great dude, by the way. Side note. Anyways, to my left, because my last name is with a T, there is a guy. His name taped says Vega Santiago. Vega Santiago, either from Costa Rica or Puerto Rico, but he was a part of that National Guard where I think it was pretty much if you go serve in the military, they will somehow give you citizenship and you can be more of a permanent resident in America. That's the only thing I could wrap my mind around it because this guy did not speak English. He didn't speak English. I mean, he really did not speak English. He was probably about 5'2", skinny as a rail. Drill sergeants would be yelling at us, getting up in us. This guy would just stand there like he didn't understand what they were saying. And I really think he did not know. I mean, he would just see us all doing push-ups, so he'd jump down and start doing push-ups. But I don't think this guy actually spoke that much English. So we had a drill sergeant that was Spanish. He approached Vega Santiago one day, and we're all standing at attention in the kill zone, in the square, in the rectangle in basic training. And he says, "What is your problem, Private?" Says that in English. And Vega's like, no, get, understand. Like, he's trying to explain himself. Drill sergeant says, "This is the only thing I'm ever going to say to you in Spanish." He goes off on about a 2-minute rant with this guy in Spanish. Vega's not saying anything back, but he's saying things to Vega. And at the end, he says, "This is the American Army. You will speak English." And Vega kind of like nods. That's where we start the story with Vega Santiago. That was my first introduction to this guy. Vega Santiago was a PT stud. This guy could run. This guy could climb ropes. This guy was just built to perform when it came to physical exercise. He could get it like that. He really could not understand a lot of things that we were saying. But Vega never really crossed me up until we get a little bit into basic training. He didn't just cross me up, he crossed everybody up. And I'm going to explain this right now. So besides the language barrier, which by the way, and I'm going to say this, I feel terrible for the guy because apparently he did have to go to some kind of language training before he came into basic training, but he did that back in his country. So anyways, moving forward. The chow hall, or the dining facility we would go at every day. There was a section of this chow hall. You have a main line and you have a short order line. The short order line was for food that we would never receive. Hot dogs, hamburgers, french fries. It was offered. A lot of drill sergeants would go through that line. We were instructed, don't you ever attempt to go through that line. It will be your ass. I swear to you, do not ever go through that line. The only way, and I mean this, the only way you could go through that line was if you got a 300 on your PT test, which means you maxed out your push-ups, maxed out your sit-ups, and you ran 2 miles the fastest you could. If you scored a perfect 300 on your PT test, the drill sergeant said, eat as much short order as you want. Clearly, food does not hinder you being in your peak physical form. So Vega got those privileges. He was a PT stud. He couldn't speak any English, but that dude could crush hot dogs and hamburgers, and there was a couple other guys we had that were just PT studs. They could do these things. We knew never to go in that line. Also in the dining facility, there was an area that had cakes, pies, desserts, all kinds of sweets and stuff that the public had provided for us for basic training. We also were told, don't ever eat these things. However, this is a big one here. You're going to say, well, why were they there? They were there because there was some complaints from people that had toured the facility recently saying drill sergeants weren't giving us enough time to eat. We were being penalized. This should be offered to us as a reward. Not really sure why the desserts were there. I never fucked with it. Never. Drill sergeants put this out very early on. These right here, they stood in front of the desserts. We all lined up and looked at them as they're pointing to cakes and everything. These right here, gentlemen, these will not help you, okay? These are unwanted calories. These are my calories. If you consume this food, I want those calories back, and I will get those calories back. So would anyone like a piece of cake? Anyone? Would anyone like a piece of cake? If you are smart, if you fear God, don't take this cake. Do not take it. Nice piece of white cake. Don't take the cake. Do not take the cake. Who do I see to my left that steps forward and raises his hand? Vega Santiago. I want the cake, drill sergeant. He wants cake, everyone. That is wonderful. I love to hear things like that. Vega, how about 2 pieces of cake? Oh, yes, I would like 2. We are looking at this guy thinking, please don't eat that cake. Please don't. Not only did he get 2 pieces of cake, we had to sit, and the drill sergeants instructed us, I want everyone to watch Vega Santiago enjoy this cake. Please watch him enjoy these 2 pieces of cake. Vega Santiago, Private Vega Santiago, would you like a glass of milk with that cake? Milk and cake go delicious together. Not a good situation. He finishes his cake, and we gotta watch this fucking guy eat his cake. Drill sergeant's like, you know what, gentlemen? I am motivated today. Is anybody else motivated? I am motivated today. Seeing that guy eat that cake, you know what? Let's meet up at the track. We all knew what was coming. We all knew. I don't think Vega knew. We all knew. Let's go. We meet up at the track. We're getting into a warmer part of the day at this point. There is an exercise in the military. It is called an iron mic. To some of you that don't know, it is a glorified lunge where you will put your hands behind your head and you will lunge, knee to ground, and you will lunge. And that is called an iron mic. We thought we were just going to run and they were just going to smoke us like that. No. They said right face, iron mic, this half-mile track. That right there, everyone looked at Vega with hatred. Everyone, and we knew they were going extra hard on us because of that cake. Our thighs are on fire. I mean, there were guys that were falling out that were pretending to try to iron mic and like limping, it hurt. It was very, very painful. Extreme pain. We all get back in formation after completing that half mile of iron mics, which fucking sucked. Drill sergeant's like, I think that's good for 1 piece of cake right there. I think you might have just got 1 piece of cake off there. Because like I said, we don't fail as an individual. We fail as a whole. Vegas still, I don't think, really understands. At this point, guys were like getting close to him and like kind of checking him. And like, I mean, we're mad. We're not happy. We're getting smoked for something we had nothing to do with. He said, you know what? Those iron mics, that was good for 1 piece of cake. But now, let's just get in the sand. Let's get in the sand. It's a nice day. Let's get in the sand. Our first experience with this sand was we high crawled, which is you're pretty much going like this on your stomach, crawling through the sand. There is another form of crawling. It is called low crawling. Not fun at all. It is done with 1 arm. And your head is buried in the sand. You will use 1 arm to pull, and your head will drag. It will look like a snail went across the sand because you have your head in the sand. It is called low crawling. It really, really sucks. Okay? We low crawled that half-mile track. Guys are not having this. Guys are ready to fight this guy immediately. This poor bastard does not realize we have to go to the barracks later, and the drill sergeants will probably not be around for some of those experiences. And I will tell you this in basic training, if you want to fight, which happened, I fought, many other guys fought, if you want to get into a fight or you want to fight, you are going to do that shit in the bathrooms, the latrines. You are going to fight in the bathrooms. Just the way it goes, nobody can really see you. You can have somebody kind of look out for you and yell if a drill sergeant's come. There will be fights. After we finish low crawling, drill sergeants know we are smoked. Puts us back in formation, marches us back up to the barracks. That night, Vega Santiago, here we go. We're all talking later that night. This guy's going to get it. We are going to fuck this guy up. We all can't fuck him up, but we know that there's a select few, especially a select few. There's no changing this guy's mind on this. Vega's getting it later. Okay? One way or another, Vega will feel some wrath later that evening. We wait till it is lights out. We are all in our bunks. I could hear people chattering. I could hear this. You got to realize this guy's bunk is right next to mine. Okay? In the dark. Now the drill sergeants they are either in their office or they have left for the evening, or you're always going to have somebody there pretty much. But there's no drill sergeants around at this point. I start seeing shadows. Start hearing bunks creak. People getting out of bed. They did not take this guy in the bathroom. They just straight went over to this guy's bunk and commenced to whipping that ass right there, right then in the bed. And we were smart. Don't hit in the face. Don't hit in the face because you're going to leave marks and you're going to get hemmed up for that the next day. So, dude, they went to town on this guy's body. I know they did. First guy comes over and just kicks the shit out of his bunk, moves that bunk, and starts putting it on Vega. A couple other guys, they're on him. This guy's getting it. He probably doesn't even know why. All right? I wish we would have just said to that guy, don't eat the fucking cake. I swear to God, we will hurt you bad. No. They just go whipping his ass. Vega kind of confused, definitely hurting his ribs, his body. I know they got some good shots in on him. Guy was not standing up fighting. This was while he was in his bunk. They just jumped on him and started to commence the punishment. Next day, we wake up for PT, our standard routine, yelling, screaming, push-ups, whatever, just getting ready for the day. Vega is not in any kind of good shape. Vega is clearly hurting. All right? Now, I think because of the language barrier, he wasn't really able to express what happened to him the night before. But I think the drill sergeants kind of knew. But like I said, they didn't hit him in the face, but they worked the shit out of his body, his ribs, his stomach, his legs. They probably beat that man's feet. They put it on Vega. I did not join in on this. Okay? I did not join in on this. I was angry, but having this guy right next to me, I knew more than these other guys did that this guy doesn't understand. You know? And it was fucked up that this happened, but things like this happen in basic training. Okay? Things like this happen in the Army. Like, it happens. Unfortunately, it does. So, we're getting ready to go do a road march. Vega, it was like a switch hitting that guy's head. This guy goes from hating the Army to loathing the Army. This guy does not want to be there anymore. This guy is very angry. This guy still, in the chow hall, wants to get a piece of cake. We are thinking to ourselves, this man is insane. We beat the fucking dog shit out of you last night, and you still want cake? You still want cake. Or ice cream, or something. Same routine. We had to watch him consume this. Drill sergeants would sit and laugh and be like, oh my God. Would you like another scoop of ice cream? Would you like one? Same thing. Back out to the track. I think they were almost running out of ways to fuck us up. Like, they were just... everything assisted buddy carries where you put a man on your back and run around the track, doing everything you could to smoke the shit out of us. And Vega was the cause of this. We all hated Vega now. This had went on for a while. Days and days of him in the cake. And I was even asking other guys that were Spanish that we served with. I was like, dude, just fucking talk to him. Talk to him in Spanish and say, stop eating the fucking cake. And they would. They'd go up to him and speak to him in Spanish. Be like, dude, don't eat the cake anymore. Stop eating the cake. We will stop doing this to you if you stop eating the cake. Okay? Vega does not listen. Okay? He had probably gotten his ass whooped. I cannot tell you how many times. Some of these weren't even just all-out ass whoopings. Sometimes you just be walking by him and then just check him into a locker and push him into a locker. Or you would inflict some kind of physical punishment. I definitely did this. I definitely pushed this guy into a locker a couple times. I didn't like this guy anymore. And I had to sleep right next to this guy. So anytime they would go fuck him up, it would wake me up. I'd be like, oh, great, this is what's happening right now. Vega hated everything that was probably America at that point. Like, he did not, this guy wanted to leave, this guy wanted to go. Vega tried to go AWOL, okay? That is absent without leave. You're trying to go AWOL in basic training. Dude tried to get up in the middle of the night and leave, okay? He got caught, okay? He got caught by somebody that was on the base, turned in, brought back. We hated this guy even more now because now we have to pull night guard on his bunk. The drill sergeants are like, oh, you don't want to help out your battle buddy? No problem. 4 men to that bunk. Each man on a post by that guy's bunk. We're all trying to get sleep. But now you get woken up. You have to go stand. While this man sleeps in bed, you have to stand 4 men to a post on his bunk. But beyond hate, we were like, can we just get this guy out of the army? Like, just at this point, just get him gone. Vega, I know he was hating life. Finally, one day, that same Spanish drill sergeant, who said he would only speak to him one time in Spanish, comes up to him, starts speaking in Spanish to him. I don't know what he said, but whatever it did, I think it clicked with Vega. And he was pretty much like, look, I get the gist of it, from what I understood, it was something about not leaving, or something about, I know Vamonos is let's go, but it was something about like, you're not leaving, you're not going, it's not happening, you need to accept this. Like, it was a coming to Jesus talk with Vega. Look, you've went AWOL, you're not going home, we're not sending you back, we need every boot on the ground, Iraq is hot and heavy, like, this is going to happen, you will definitely be here. Vega, that day, stopped eating the cake. Okay? He stopped eating the cake. No more cake. We were still getting fucked up, but not for cake or desserts or anything like that. We progress into basic training. We start going on these extended road marches. Start going to these different ranges. We thought everything was fine with Vega. Okay? We're moving into the later part of basic training, where after 8 weeks of basic training, you are going to start your infantry school. More of that very intense training. All kinds of stuff you're going to do. Vega goes AWOL while we're outside training. We go to account everybody after a range or an exercise. We're missing Vega. He asked Vega's battle buddy, and I felt bad for this guy, Vega's battle buddy. This guy hated life. He's like, I get stuck with this piece of shit. Really? This is who I have to... This guy didn't even speak any fucking English. I can't even talk to this guy. Like, Vega goes AWOL. We are out at a range, and if you've ever been to Fort Benning, Georgia, there is a lot of wooded area. You could very easily get lost and die out there. You could, I promise you. Drill sergeants shut down the post. They shut down the post. We go hand in hand with the man to the left and right of you, and we comb Fort Benning as much as we could. We hit the ranges first, hand in hand. We are walking looking for this guy, yelling this guy's name. This went on for about probably 4 to 6 hours of us looking for this guy. Eventually he gets found somewhere in the woods, not by us, by some other company. It is raining, he is cold, he is shaking under a tree. Breaks my heart now thinking back about it. They still were hell-bent on not sending this guy home. Vega now, instead of having one battle buddy, he had 2 battle buddies. So 2 guys were accountable for Vega at all times. I think they even put a guy that actually spoke Spanish with him because they realized, like, okay, clearly this guy he either doesn't understand or whatever it is. I don't know why it took so fucking long to realize this guy didn't really speak English. However, Vega is just nothing but a problem. Vega, I think somehow, then again, because we thought something had clicked in his head and he'd kind of figured this stuff out that I need to get with the program. It wasn't panning out. We go out to this thing. It's called FTX. It is one of the last things you will do getting into the end of your basic training infantry school deal. You are road marching a lot. You are going and living out on these sites for days on end. You are making makeshift tents. They're called hooches. You're taking a poncho, stringing across trees. You are living outside. You are doing some really, really good, really good training to end your basic training. All right. So we are going to graduate. Like, it's going to happen. We are approaching the end of our time there, our 17 weeks. We have to do a course, okay? This is an obstacle course. You have to run, you have to swim through water, you have to climb ropes, you have to do all kinds of shit. Just imagine like a Tough Mudder kind of deal. Vega is the first guy to lead this off. This guy breaks the record at Fort Benning for the fastest time completing this. This, like I said, he was a PT stud. We did our best to try to work with this guy. We weren't fighting him anymore. We were way past that now. He kind of conformed. Vega Santiago got us in more shit. I have no idea where this guy is now, because you have to realize a lot of guys you serve with there, they're not going to active Army. These guys signed up National Guard, and they have to go through regular Army basic training infantry school for their MOS or their job title. And then they're going back to their country, or they're going back to Texas National Guard or Arkansas National Guard. I was active duty, so I went to my duty station. I went to Fort Hood, Texas. But I don't know what happened to Vega. This guy caused us a lot of problems. Sorry, just the story went on a little bit, but man, it reminds me so much about what this guy was. Guys, if you like this story, please like and subscribe and comment. And like always, man, I love you guys, and thank you for watching. Appreciate it.